today's live. It's day 2 of the sales challenge and I am just setting everything up. Sorry, but I am a little bit later than expected, but here I am. So today it's going to be a live. We're going to talk about your ideal clients. And, with the ideal clients, it's really so much a question. About, sorry, everything is going wrong the whole time. It's just I don't have my regular setup right here in Berlin. So yeah. So we're going to talk about your ideal clients because that is, the most important thing I think there is, because, without clients, there is no business. And probably you already know this. And actually heard somebody say on a podcast yesterday, so it was pre-recorded. I heard somebody say, if you don't have clients, it's just a hobby. Well, I don't know about that. But, I think, there's so many nice ways to get your business running. So if you're here, say hi. And so the thing with ideal clients is, and this is actually, I think, the difference between people who are running a successful business and who don't. The ones that do have a successful business, aside from the mindset work that we did yesterday, the ones who do have a successful business know exactly what their clients want. And maybe you're thinking, yes, but I think it's very difficult for me to niche down and to find, those ideal clients, to choose from them. But actually, if you do choose, then it's going to be much easier for them to work with you. So imagine you are pregnant and you need a personal trainer. Would you work with a personal trainer who helps everybody from old people to young people to, anyone? Or would you be working with people, with a personal trainer who is specialized in working with someone who's pregnant? I mean, I have no idea about, being pregnant. I also don't have that desire, but, I would choose for the specialized one. And the same goes in your business. So if you are, for instance, a business coach, for instance, in my case, if you are a business coach and you are working with starting entrepreneurs, that could be a niche, or you could work with experienced entrepreneurs. And, there's all these different kinds of niches that you can talk about. So 2 episodes ago in my podcast, I am talking about niching down. And, for instance, there was a question coming in from someone from my audience, and he asked me, Sarah, how do I niche down? And we've had some conversations before about how he should do that. And, he said to me that he chose a certain niche, 2 months or 3 months ago, and he actually really didn't like the people. He said to me, like, no, I don't really like them. They all think they're curing everything in the world right now, and I don't want to focus on them anymore. But it was actually a large group, so it is smart of him to do that. But he chose to choose a different niche. And we were talking about this, and he submitted his question, and I answered it in my podcast. And then I actually told him, like, afterwards he was posting about it. I told him that, what you can actually niche down right now, and then once other people see it, once other people are seeing what you're doing to your certain niche, they will ask you. So for instance, my first job, when I was finished my studies, I did museum studies, cultural heritage actually, and when I did museum studies, my first job was organizing the museum night in Amsterdam. It's a really big event, 33,000 visitors, and it was very nice. It was a marketing job, and it was also very much about museums, which I loved. So it was perfect. And this is where I learned started to learn all my financial skills, and I really loved it actually. And that's how I became an interim manager. But so the Museum Night Amsterdam was such a success because it was focused on people from 18 to 35 years old, because that's a little bit kind of a gap group, in the museum visiting scene. So for instance, when you're young, you're going to visit a museum with your family. You actually don't really have a choice. And once you're 18, well, you're going out, you're going to have fun, you know, and then maybe once you're 35, you have a family, and then you're going to visit museums again. So between those ages, 18 to 35, it wasn't very likely for people to go to museums because, you know, museums are a little bit static. And I mean, I love museums. There's always exceptions to the rule. But it was so successful because, you know, the events that we organized, you know, about 400 different events at 50 museums. Well, maybe it was actually more, maybe 600. I don't really remember. It's a long time ago. But because of that, you know, it really spoke to those people, you know, the young people. And I remember, you know, sometimes receiving a phone call. I mean, I'm really coming from, you know, the Stone Age here. Receiving a phone call from someone who is 60 years old who told me, I really don't like the idea that you communicate that it's for young people. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know, but, you know, we have to do this to attract people. So sometimes you have to offend people or, you know, maybe, but you know what? Those people are still welcome. You know, we're not checking their passports if they're 35 plus or not. I'm actually 36 right now, so I'm out. I'm out. Oh, what a terrible realization on Tuesday morning. So you know what I mean, right? So how to do so we were at the museum night. We were really tapping into, you know, the innermost desires of our ideal clients. It was really young people who wanted to go out, wanted to go with their friends, see some beautiful things, and that was it. So try to find for yourself, you know, what is that your ideal client really likes. So do they like luxury? Do they like, you know, just a very simple approach? So for instance, something that I believe, you know, is really something that we can still work on is, for instance, you know, the entire world is, for instance, a vegan restaurant which doesn't look like a garage or something, you know, because sometimes I just, you know, want to sit comfortable, eat vegan, and actually, you know, really enjoy the experience, you know, have kind of a luxury experience. It doesn't have to be for me, you know, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I really appreciate that. So for instance, something like that could be really an interesting USP. Or what are other ideas? I have so many of these ideas, but now I'm kind of blanking. But, you know, what I want you to think about is not, you know that you always have to think about the pain of your clients. So for instance, in my case, it's most of the time it's about, you know, not getting the sales that you want. And but that's okay. You know, you can actually get you actually can get those sales, and that's what I help you with. So I'm kind of diving into the deepest pains, but mostly the desires of my clients, because I want them to thrive. Not only just because they can pay me, obviously, but I want to see them what's possible. I show them what's possible and see that you can actually, do this yourself, and that you know don't need, for instance, a business manager or a sales manager. You know, I've worked with actually many artists who noticed this, that some of them still do have a manager, but you know, they fired their bookers because they really like to sell themselves, and actually it was much easier to do so, and it was much cheaper, and it was actually more fun. So this is just a small example, but that's what I want to tell you today is find the innermost desires of your ideal clients. And how can you figure this out? Again, talk to people, talk to your clients. I told this to Alyssa yesterday. Ask what people want, ask what people need, and also think for yourself, who are my ideal clients? Who are people that I want to work with? So for instance, my ideal clients, they are coachable. So I don't want to work with people that say, for instance, if they look at my course, my video course, they're saying, you're talking about growing your email list. I'm not even talking about that. But so, I already done that in one course, and all the rest is just, doesn't matter to them anymore. It's fine, but then you're not my ideal client. Go work with someone else. It's fine. I'm not mad at you or anything. So try to also think about for yourself who are your ideal clients. And you don't have to know everything already right from the start. This will grow on you, right? So if you're just starting out, don't worry. You can actually figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to close today's live. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a very happy day and see you tomorrow. Welcome to today's live. It's day 2 of the sales